Kubli pi baro pi pedi kasi channel yeman raja pi ka thup khubor jang ni gati yomenta ki phangi bakong san bams mai u MLU bathamai ka so yong constituency thau ka sarkar da ka committee banyakren ya ka roster system on shong sha thangan uba ardent nadu ka arpulai tare on lum jingalang u CEM ka KHADC namar ka jingwan poi ki petwer manipur on sangya trikam ki notre ka MEECL bamyo tulop yang por Beliau Menteri Rangba ya ka Dare to Dream Football Academy bat kibai de ki khubor ne parliamentash ki khubor bania u MLA badang shudep shajit jongka constituency soyong ula shimya gajing bam smai manaka khan re treatment au banai lapin bam smai u da u Timothy Shira ha gajing dan lang president jongka seng UDP ba met ba lingdo ki menteri sarkar ki MLA baro but lapan pin ke mohang ni ba yakani ke election so yong lapan kin ria no na ka arpo nyotri u banai rempang shakash potri u banai jemang mentas nem arajar arpo lai nagada ko jing klad no jong ba HDR lingdo obu kwini jong uba sencha lingdo hi ubalade banya khun ha ke election laban kedo hang ni buba sencha ula job ke election so yong kabla penjalan chakashi potri u jemang naga arpo nyotri u rempang arajar arpo lai namar ke jing klad no ba HDR lingdo ubalong ukwini jong u hapai kren beginong thok bor hadim blade bam smai uba sanchar ya uba ki jukhat e upop ulong mo untrei na kabanta ka roi ka part ka constituency par kumjuru unkren ki mar ki bakta ke jalahi brockway
I Sanchar Khubor Roy Lingdo Thaba have been elected a member of the Legislative Assembly do solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Aduh, sundar. Sir, I think take one photo here.
Mereka si bolong kapang mo. Ba nang ni mat sedang like what I've said starts a new era. So your presidency and also I think a good thing. And with God's blessing to the people of the constituency and also for the state.
New era in what sense?
I didn't get you.
New era in what sense?
New era means a new MLA of Soyong constituency starts a new development, new ideas of bringing something new to the constituency and also adding a new brain to the assembly. Thank you.
You said earlier that you will be a lawmaker beyond the legislative task. Tell us what way.
I didn't say much about that, but being a legislator, you just come and sit in the assembly. I want to be a legislator who will speak in the assembly, which me speaking might be an addition or wake up call to many other MLAs in the assembly.
There are a lot of unaccomplished work of your relative earlier.
Mine.
So what are the things which need immediate attention?
Well, I think all starts from ground zero. He's done a lot for the constituency, and talking about myself, then I'll start everything from ground zero.
Menaga sin thodi menta kata yoga khat kendai tri ubnai jemang arajar arpulai ka sarkar jala kala khot jingalang jong baro ki seng perthei ke jala banyakren halor ka roster system hagani ke jalang kala panya de menteri rangba ke jala korot ke sangma kila shebe ka rai ban thau de ka wei ka committee ka banyakren bat yathir halor kani ka phang ya kani ka committee on lam khamat de ka ko april lingdo ka badai ru ka menteri jo ka sarkar jala.
Most of the political parties who are present here right now on the dais with me have seen the presentation and are satisfied seeing what the details are, and concerns have been raised and some clarifications have been sought, and hence we have decided that in order to ensure that all the different concerns that are there are clarified and hence a committee is proposed to be set up, which will be chaired by our Honorable Health Minister, Kong Amperin, and different members from different political parties will be in it, so that we can allow them to seek clarification and give further suggestions on how they propose that or they suggest that we should move forward. Apart from that, certain clarifications have been sought. We have clarified most of the points. Certain clarifications like whether in the education sector this particular system will apply or not. So we have clarified that the roster is meant for direct recruitment only, and hence it is not meant to be implemented for education purpose, in the sense for the different seats that are there in different education institutions across the country. So on and so forth. There were many other points that were raised, and we have given a complete clarification on that. We have also in the presentation explained to the different political parties that the appointments that have been made from the past, those appointments from 1972 onwards, have been done, and we will put them as far as possible from different inputs that we received. We have put them and plotted them. And this data has now allowed us to understand the sequence in which we are now today to continue with the roster. I would like to clarify here today also that all the appointments that were made in the past, in all the decisions that were taken as per the reservation policy. And hence they are completely legally binding on the government. And hence the question of us going back and looking at it and cancelling or making adjustments does not arise. So therefore, these were done and appointed based on the reservation policy. And now after the information and data has been plotted, we are now in a position in some of the departments to understand how we will move forward. In the meantime, our members from different political parties have requested that till this committee, which will give us a report or will have a final sitting in the next few days, they have suggested that if we can keep any new advertisements on hold, and based on that we have agreed to that as a government, that we will keep things on hold till the committee is satisfied and gives us a final report and final discussion, which we expect it to be happening in a very, very short time. We will come out with the terms and references. And hence, after all these details were discussed, presentations were given, we have seen that most of the political parties have and are satisfied with the discussions that we had. There were certain political parties that have stressed and asked us to discuss on different issues apart from the roster. And they stressed that since the discussion was on reservation roster, they urged that reservation should be discussed. And we have made it very clear to them that this discussion that we're having today is on the roster system. And the reason the word reservation is there because it's the roster on the reservation. And hence the discussion was limited only to the roster system and not beyond that. So those clarifications were made. And based on that, as I said, different political parties have been able to grasp and understand the entire system. And I'm hopeful that now from here, they will also explain to the people of the constituencies, of the areas, of the parties, and explain to them how we have ensured that through the different steps and decisions that we're taking, that the interests of different communities throughout the state are protected. So that is what the decisions and the discussions that took place in today's all-party meeting. No, it's, you can see that all the political parties are here, and almost all the political parties have understood what the government is doing, and they have appreciated also the concerns. Of course, there are challenges, and there will always be challenges, but on the whole, what the process we've followed and the way we are thinking of moving forward is something that almost all the political parties, all the opposition parties, everybody has appreciated it, and they are in line. They are seeking some more clarification, but in principle, they have understood how we're going to move forward. So I fail to understand where the VPP's logic is coming now, when they are first they were saying and talking about all this issue, and now when this is clarified, now they're bringing up another issue. It's their political decision. I only urge in one thing, that we have to understand that we are responsible leaders. We need to understand that we are responsible to the state and to the people. We need to understand that there are certain areas and certain subjects that have the potential to harm the communal harmony that we have and affect the state's unity. And as responsible leaders, we should know when and where and how we should move forward. Everything is not about politics. Everything is not about political gain. We have to realize that we have to be responsible as leaders to ensure that the safety, security, and the harmony in the state moves forward. So I appeal to all the supporters of all political parties, be it the political parties who are here and the political parties who are not here, that we need to understand, as I said, that we have been living as a society for the last many centuries. And we have as a state, we're lucky to have our own state in the last 50 years. We're very lucky that different policies in the reservation have been working in our favor in the last many years. We have to remember that going into these areas, is there any concern of how it could impact the entire reservation in the larger context of things? I think as responsible leaders, all the supporters of different political parties need to introspect and be able to take the right decision. These are not simple things. These are very complicated things, and we are looking at situations that could be, unnecessary, cause, disharmony in the state, and also these kind of things could affect the overall reservation policy that is there in the state if some wrong steps are taken. So hence, we need to be responsible, and I urge to the supporters and the leaders of all political parties and the stakeholders that we should work in harmony, we should work for unity, we should work to ensure that all sections of society of our state are taken care of. And as a government and as the Chief Minister, I'm ensuring that we are able to take everybody together. There are tough decisions to be taken, and we are taking those tough decisions. The political parties who are here with me right now, they know the discussions that took place. They know that concerns that are there. And yet, keeping all the balance of things, we're ensuring that we move forward in the best possible manner. So I appreciate their concerns and I appreciate their initiative, and I once again thank them for coming for this particular meeting.
So we are very happy as a Indian National Congress because we're working for the interests of our young generation to ensure that our youth have a future in the state, our youth have faith in the system, and the government, the Chief Minister has clarified very clear that there will be no community that will be discriminated. The roster system is in place because all along after the reservation policy was enacted, there was no roster system in place. So it's been very clear now, it's been clarified. So the young generation should not worry. There will be no discrimination against any community. As per the reservation policy enacted by the Assembly, that will be followed in that aspect.
So many, majority have demanded that the roster should be implemented prospectively. So what was clarified?
Yes, because you see, now you have got to start somewhere. And the court has been very clear that, it should be from the time the roster system should be in place, right from the time that the reservation policy has been enacted. But of course, it will be implemented prospectively. But you have to have certain basis, and the court has made it very clear that the roster system should be in place right from the time the reservation policy was enacted.
So has your party proposed any cut-off year for implementation of this roster?
See, cut-off year, we've said now, like the roster system will be in there, will be right from 1972, but the implementation will be prospective.
We have been inside of so many things after the roster system is in place, because whenever there is reservation policy, there should be roster system in place. It is mandated in the law. So since after having the reservation policy also, there is no roster system, that's the reason why the Honorable High Court has intervened into this. So now this roster system is being implemented, and we want that while implementing this roster system, all the stakeholders should be put on board. And we'll see. After this meeting, the government has assured that some committee will be constituted pertaining to the implementation of the roster system, comprising of each member from each political party. Then we'll move forward as to what will happen in future. We will be getting more enlightenment through that committee also. That's it.
Yes. So majority of the people are demanding for prospective implementation of the roster system. So what is the stand of the AITC?
See, the High Court's order is to make it implemented from the time the reservation policy is in effect. But however, the roster system, when it is being implemented, it is being implemented from prospective manner.
We have demanded for prospective manner, and the government has also agreed, even though the retrospective effect would be to understand the various positions of the various posts across all departments. But then all recruitments will be done prospectively. That was demand by our party as well, and that will be done as well.
So have you proposed any cut-off year for the implementation of the roster system?
See, once there are two sets of departments. One set of departments where we find that the data is ready and they are roster ready. Means after the positions are taken into place, without looking at the whatever appointments have been done in the past, everything will be done with effect from the date that the department should be roster ready, and from there they will be taken forward for all new recruitments. And there are also departments which are not yet roster ready. So we urge the government that these departments also should be taken into consideration at the earliest, and they be made roster ready based on the data available, because there were some complexities, and like say it was been told, as we all know also, that the education department was first under district council, several schools were under district council, so suddenly to bring them the data right from 1972 is quite difficult. So that the government is studying, and they will bring certain requirements.
What would you say? Are you satisfied with the presentation?
We had our doubts, we had our queries. One was that I think this was the best kind of positioning that the government can keep itself with, considering the kind of data, information, and the 50 years behind us that had gone. So if the roster has to be put in place, then this would be, I think, the best way forward. First, to bring all the political parties on board, and after this, whatever the decisions, final decisions will come, the government will give us a presentation, and based on that, we will again be discussing. And the committees, as Honorable Vice President has said, that a committee is being put in place. So that committee also will give further discussions and a platform for us to put our concerns. One thing is that the concern of the citizens regarding the application of the roster on educational seats, the reservation of educational seats. So the roster will not be applied to the seats. So this was one of the stand of the party, and we had put this discussion forward, and the government. So the government has clarified that for any high-end technical seat that is being reserved, only the reservation will be put in place, not the roster.
In 1972, when the reservation policy was there was a decision to review after 15 years. Now it's 51 years. It's not been reviewed. It's always good to discuss on matters, policy that are old. And I don't see anything wrong in that. If the government is shying away from discussing the SRP, maybe I don't think it's logical, it's correct. The government, we would propose that please be open-minded. Let us discuss. Because the situation back in 1972 and now is different. And if we go by the SRP, you see, why Kasi Jantia 40? Why the Garo community 40? This question was asked first time by our first Chief Minister himself on the 28th of January 1972 in the House. And he replied to that because the reservation was supposed to be based on population. But 40 was given to Garo and 40 to Kajijantia, whereas population of Kajijantia was more. But the Chief Minister at that time, he explained why they had given that time 40 to the Garo community and 40 to Kajijantia, and the justification is that because as per the government, there are very, very less Garo community people who are working in the department. Therefore, there is 40-40. Now, the big question is, this roster system will ensure that there are equal Garo and equal Kajijantia employed in various departments. If it is like that, then we have to change the 40-40 then. Because the 40-40 was given by sidelining the population, was on the idea, on the report of the government, because Garo community are very less. But now the roster will set that aside. There will be equal number of Garo and equal number of Kajijantia through the roster system, which makes it mandatory then. The purpose of 40-40 now has been solved. Now let's go back to population now. Let's go to population and change the ratio. That's how it has to be done. And we hope therefore we wanted to discuss more on the reservation policy also, which was maybe not elaborated in depth. And we hope that the government now, as per the meeting today, they'll take more meetings to come.
Kinong ilam jong kaseng VPP kilami no agenda na katay ke jingalang jong ki seng san perthaya kabalakot ka sarkar jila banyakran lor ka roster system.
Kini kinong ilam kibalami agenda na kani kajialang kilo ang makamanto ya ki bansyong kajialang namar claim yakran ka reservation policy. Kilo ang kamanto banyakran ka roster ada ompala banyakran na pinbetchwa ka reservation policy.
Ini one bankran the reservation. Namar ginamla bankran ya roster ada bankran reservation. How can we speak about the roster system if reservation is not being discussed? So that is what we've been insisting upon the government. And so unless the government talks about the reservation, I think there's no point talking about the roster system.
So can we say that due to you not being satisfied with the outcome of the meeting, was that you stage a walkout from the meeting?
Well, there's no point, discussing about the roster system because, it's like putting the cart before the horse. So unless you talk about the reservation policy, roster system, discussing and spending time in the roster system, for us as a party, we feel it's just a waste of time.
That can be implemented. Yes. That can be implemented easily by the different departments. They don't need to call us this meeting. It is not so complicated. It's not rocket science to understand the roster system. So first, we come to this meeting simply because we have been invited to come. They put in the subject of the letter as reservation roster. So we thought that the twin issues will be discussed. But when in the meeting we asked whether why the OM of 2022 does not speak about the population structure, which the 1972 resolution clearly stated that the principle of reservation is the population also. Exactly. But here the OM of 2022 speaks nothing about the population structure, and therefore we feel that it is pointless to have a discussion on the roster system, which is, I would say, a very simple matter which can be understood by anyone without coming to this meeting. Kamlong hi kum subject jong ki reservation roster banekran reservation ikran.
But we have seen yesterday the Chief Minister had stated that reservation without a roster is meaningless. So what do you have to say?
They base the roster on I would say that the unjust reservation policy. So ultimately that roster system is unjust roster. Why? Because it is based on the unjust policy, and therefore unless and until you correct the policy based on the population structure, it is pointless to talk about the roster system.
But we have seen it is a clear message from the government that it has no interest to discuss the reservation policy or neither to review the policy.
I don't have the time to see what he speaks to the media. I'm not so much into the media. We come here as better.
So what is the next?
Don't give a September the Pantalai reservation policy. Yok kerja kemudian hakiway kerja bakan nak perapau konpoy ke Sanpau.
The latest ruling jangka Supreme Court nak Sanpau ke kiu shakan ropau. Then this is manongi pi away ga reservation hangni apa pi pay reservation ha ki centrally funded central institutes. Ya ki scheduled tribes ke ya 7.5% throughout India. Ha ki scheduled areas ke ya kum ka reservation chong katu ka university marki suthu ka scheduled tribe areas. The kira ka suthu bagani ka scheduled tribe areas kamdei bagani ka 80% kan par poisha court kala poisha court kanu husin tang ba ka court kamlei this is subject of the government hadu mentangin kampat lei ka court bangin ong mangi bakan le who are we to say.
So what will be the next step?
Long sebut menjadi ada pentrai kini ke reservation kat no yang saya di ban mangkasi kat no.
Pi long ba pen na 1971 hang tu giong ba ka resolution ka baklang tu kong ba in BSF population but ka we long ba ki ko ka reservation kam dei ka combined ST tingamla bu ban shim ka combined ST population hab shim hi ya ke individual ST population population how 1971 ki khasi kilong sub-1% ki karo la shur around up to 32% like duna ya 32%. They have 2011 ka population jing khasi gri 47% ka population jing garo gri 32%. Tinang ta plaban su
Hadian ketiga jimi jendat no jongki nong yalam na ketiga jingalang kaseng VPP kala penlong ya ka jingalang pat ba khmat ka office rekam additional secretariat ban peso thoshi ki pat ba halor ka jingthmu bat ki jing dawa jong kaseng
Kani kerja lang jo kaseng VPP kala rai ban sedang nak kerja ki dadu ka arpulai terik ujemang aja arpulai hakabau president rangba uba adan embassy moit unlit ban shongsha thangan nakmat secretariat bandawa nak sarkar bakadem pinben no shwai ka reservation policy jong gejala Meghalaya
Basga pang kuno balengi ong bangi scam hadu menta bangi dawa om persya yaga ai ka ba pi sandur Nrangi dawa ban pen scam ban pen bha kani ka policy ka ong kumno in pursuant of clause 4 of article 16 of the Constitution of India and keeping in view the inadequacy of representation of these communities in the services under the autonomous state of Meghalaya in terms of their population. Kabamot kat kum ke Jingdan Pat kani ka Khubor ka Ningkong ke Jubab ka Ikwa banai namda gitu ki Emily ki bala sudah marla namda gitu ki party ki bala sudah marla sya kani ka Jingpat jong ka sorka kani ka Ningkong nangta shushu hangi ka kumno that consistently with the maintenance of efficiency in the administration. Kabamut bagarukum piniakam kadi belang dan kacing start kacing trip lani kata efficiency. Kumlongin yo yang efficiency lamdang itapkam yang kipriyo kibabit kipriyo kibabiang kibalabnai yang kata kacing syakri kaban penhun kata gan kadai nangrem kacingi kabangi ong badon kam shwa ban penbet nangta kani kepara 1.2 kaong kumno if sufficient number of suitable candidates for filling up the reserve vacancies is not available from the respective classes in any particular year, then such vacancies will be available to others, but the deficiency will be carried forward to the next recruitment year and made good in the recruitment of that year, provided that the reservation on account of the deficiency shall not be carried forward more than 1 year. Hadirin magayang kashri kalau betah ban penbiang yang rosa ke sarkar kalau day ban penbet shwa yang ni ke jingdoa ke jingi kalau day ban bha kat kum ke jingdon pat kim simle kumta kila pen kala yang ni kila penbet yang babun nrai ki i bet yang rishu saupo la saupo de hangta bani ni turong kum ke jat bemriu den mar ke tada ku kipat ba the voice of the people party kanum kanrandin kalong the Wisconsin Nomor kimno pada keren ni reservation policy. Lalu keren unlap syai yang kecilnya butuh jangan ni ke sarkar MDE1, MDE2 lima kali ke office memorandum agak senam arwar kepada penggala yang reservation policy ban pendonong yang iki samra badru ban bobet yang kata ratio kombagalong. Nomor dah ni slow. Kajimi jong kini kinoyam gaji nagata gajekan kalang kepihatan ai puram nama kila bat yang rai juga parti kimsem nasim menta ada betul menta gajekan kawan suai ban batai nakum di kelas sungi tiap ha ke ke rosa Ndam ban batai yaki noyam juga voice of the people party ke rosa system nisko top nikwa banyak keren yang reservation policy. Kiwan kepada election banong ban syagri nam tagi kon samra nam tagi nomrap nam tagi nombras ni ndai ban syagri untuk konrap kaya yuki bagi nongkong ini keren ya kata ke reception policy balai kiting komal ang nado kasngi ke bentong ke jinting ke jungki namar ki sloto tang chue keren ya reception policy lahapan kongu ya kanorim jongga voice of the people party. Dan mengatakan kau kipat ba, yang sedang yang ni kejeki kejini, yang pengkre agi ni kisisni asni, yang ni pasal lagi yang kisen, yang pelik jimut yang sah do play no bu no tau. Nganong ipi ala dia ngam du mensim, haba kipene akum dia, lapen kemar yang ayu paru, kumno bu play lapen dono dia paru, mereka haba kut haban pendem. Nyenom kenran din ai bikin dono nyimpet kamno kilaban dono nyene ki hadu bagian haban pendam hagasur kajong upat ba kulai shibun ya pigi pada lakhot ini daga sarkar banyak keren halor kata kamat ke angka reservation roster system ngilalai hantu bat kai kebaja kalong Kemsem keren ya ke reservation policy, ke keren tai ke roster system, kam dan jingmut ban keren ya ke roster system, lada nyempen bed ya ke nega jing duna ya ke jing duko ha ke reservation policy. Denam kata ni salet hangtai ban keren, nrai soto ba hangtai kam dan jingmut namar ni soto bakim kwa ban keren ya ke reservation policy ke kwa ban keren ya ke roster system kam don jingmut ban keren ya ke roster system lada empen bet shwa ya ke reservation policy kapal kadai ka pengibu akhmat jong sarkar anai kinongilam jong sarkar kyong ngem kwa ban keren ya ke reservation policy iwan hang ne ban keren ya ke roster system ki tho shithi kumno reservation roster system ni nomor kata-kata ni so kam don jengmut banyak keren antu ya ka roster system ni sloto ya ka roster system naga po ni nilai patai patba basukto nai ka don kam kalong ban penbet ban penba ya ka reservation policy nai nomor ba ka sarkar kam kwa ban keren kata ni bolok laingut ni la shem karai bakam don jengmut ban beteng ya ka jing keren jong ya hantu kalau bahai ini bagian wan bahai yang shani shau pajak. Bagi John kami pergi pajak kalong, bafin ai ke jinggersyam, batai ke bapi pilaban le, upajak kata ke jingsyatkan ke jengagaran yad hantai, ki pajak hakleng ki konstituensi kasih jentia, kemdei banai sok ini ki Emily bagian syong sok, kini bantur. Kini bantur, bat ban lek, ban perta, ban syang, kelain mengor, hakmat yin jong kini ki Emily ki batuman, baki bam smoto. Kaji ki kania hakata gerubang, ngan syatkan mengahang ni, hapok kemas sekretariat, nadu ke arpulai, penkre ban lek, dagalim tiga bajai ban penrem jur yakini ki Emily ki bakam begini ki nongalam gujong pi nri ki bam nur ban keren ya ka e ka begini ban keren kalau dia ke por menta banginong klat ya ka tu syuki berkat ya ka jge jogi kon samla gujini Badminton ke jingile ke jingi. Kandai su juga voice of the people party. Kandai juga jat penriu. Ngayo wer nomor kata rawi ki samla. Ngayo wer ki long kami. Ngayo wer ki long pa. Tongin pini sisa. Bayam kaya ke bagi tawa kalau ke Shanghai. Lalu syajam hagani ke kinti ke pemerintah. Kalau ke jingkok nang ke crowd. Iki kon sama ke jingi. Te koti pai babi. Kani kan kadai kabangi ni kwa banong bahkan ni ke polisi ke keren syad ke polisi hapok ke rin diaru la pension orang dah ke cindon pai kanu kita ki travel kidon kanu kita ki schedule class kidon kanu kita ki OBC kidon lamang ya kata kapha katum ke cindon ke joki balai kem tre ban ya keren hangi balai kai gadon PME ki advertisement ki mami hala kaski kumnu ki ta ni ki samla jingi ki buat kamu macam pihun ban syang tu pos sekretariat ban bame yang hak ke jauh paga ban subam tulap ban supenangkam yang kata ke comfort ke buat raya pi pilih ban leran kum kita ke bekam pilih ke nalam oh kita babe yang sang yang ni ke jingi Namar kata kau, pentre kijimut kijim pakat kejupi, kuno bangin sedang banyak ki do patba hanu bagita kinong ikmat kiji ken haban perkat asin.
Managakat niyo tarik mentau benai jemang arhajar apulai menteri rang bak kejelau Konrad ke sama oleh yathu baka jingya kren penbet puat bat ke sarkar Assam ka la ban long haka arpu sau tarik mentau benai jemang hag nong ba agohati.
The Honorable Chief Minister of Assam and myself and the committee members are expected to meet on the 24th of this month. So that will be the first meeting that may take place in Guwahati. We are still waiting for full confirmation, but tentatively, both of us have agreed. The logistics are being worked out, and if everything falls into place, we are expected to meet on the 24th of this month. Post which we have already decided that we will visit both Block 1, Block 2 area jointly to send a message of confidence, a message of peace, and a message of restraint from both sides, including administration. And these are the steps and measures that we're taking. But as I said that, yes, incidents are happening. We are very concerned about them, and they should not. We appeal for peace and harmony in these areas. But ultimately, in order to ensure that we are able to find permanent peace there, the solution to this border issue is the only way forward.
But sir, coming to Khanduli incident again, will you take up with the Assam government to stop the Assam government from setting up of that toll gate? Because that is the reason for this situation.
Yeah, so many incidents are happening. Many actions have been taken from both sides, which are not, going too well with the other side. And hence, the confidence building step and exercise of both the chief ministers going to these locations is precisely with that objective, to build up the confidence, as I said, to send a positive message of peace, and also the serious message that we want the solution to happen, and also to ensure that we ask the different administrations to restrain from any kind of such activity which would further instigate the situation.
Ubat titos khan ubriu CEM jong ka KHEDC ulai thu ba un salum ya ka jingalang jong baro ki rang bashnong ka no bashlong banyak kren halor ka jingwan poi ki phetwer Manipur najila Manipur shani sha nong ba hakini kisni ki balala
Laban kedau hang ni bagi Pedwir na Manipur kilawan Pedre semadan riting hakini kisni beradab hadin belami ka jinga kulmar Manipur hak belami ka jing sha peniap ka jing sha thangyeng thangsem sha thangyeng mani ber kiwe de ka jingja namar ka jinga kulmar
na kaliang kecunga ngala ya keren hapo ki khot jong ka step committee hak bede ba ka jing wan kerthep jong ki briu ki madabar kham tam hakini ki Sinong kidong kibahap po ka sorslo. Tin hawede ba ka liang kabede po madan riting ngala kentu yaw siem jong ka himamiliam ya ka ba unkhot yaw rang ba sinong jong ka madan riting man kali halor ka jinglong jingman ketika caka khamtam ha kabede ba ka jingwan jong ki priu ki banabar kumba pi ki belawan ban syong wi tengen ha ketika sinong Tina kabentapat kajing ya bit ya biang lang haman lagi snong nga lakhot ya kajing ya lang jong baro ki rang ba snong jong ka sorsulong la arpu sauterik ha kapor sibeji apo conference room jong ka hasil autonomous resource council ya kaba ki notice ngin sa penpoi hakini kisni na kabanta ban yak selok ya ke jinglong jingman jong ki snong ki thau kham tam ya ke jingwan kerthep jong ki babun ki briu ki banabar ki basuan ban songwai ki basuan ban rung ban haki snong ki thau kaban long le si ka jingwit hadin habut dina takadaw ngin sa ya discuss pa ka tugasni ki gibenta ki bangin le kham tam ban te lakam ya ka jingwan jong ki pri na bar haki di kisnong ki bahap apo put sam jong ka district council apo social ti ngam patip na ki yo bor ban le ya kata ya ka bakin khot ya ki bril jongki bakin wan haka ni kari ke jongi denrei lakum nu ru lada kalong hadin ba ka situation apo Manipur let's say kala long back to normal national ba ka de ka kamram jongki hi ban pha byang ki chala ka jongka jala
Imat kini giwan sini kram chung tep chung kinong ilam snow. Kukum bapau na kecil keren chung kinong snow chung madang ting. Kudang madang.
Em ya kani kan sasyai haka jingelang ka bangin khot haka ap sautere na try kita baro kin sasyai
Kinohi kay SSA hapo ka lama jong ka MSSA SA manaka khanyo treatment tau benai ke lalit banyak kendo yo menteri ke tenat puli puthi ke sarkar jila ORA sangma banyak kran halor ki jengdawa ki barim ki bala sateng nadu kisnem ki bala letno baru kumju ban bud din halor ka jingbo benta khambon ya kinohi kay naga state budget
Hadin gajia kendu baru Menteri Ketenat Pulih Putih nak liang oba Aristotle si rembai ulai itu bana kaliang ke sorkar kan pelaj noi ke tulap jongki ke badai nadu banai leber badia kini onle lingba ke corpus fund hakini gajia kendu kino yalam kelai kran rui kiwe ki macing dawa jongki
kendu jongi bagi education minister sa makam di sama kalong ba ngi bodin lor kito ki mat barang sa teng jongi kebanong kong hini wan taksi kalong ban ai khublai kerpang ye kamtam ya kecing simkhia jongi ban pentrai kam ya ka ban transfer ya ka tulop jongi na ka account jong ka simam syaka account jong kino hikai directly kumba pilatip hi na 2018 ila dawa ya kani but we commend kumjun kai sisi ba hakani ka sarkar ka bamenta MDA2 under the ministership of Sarki Arakam is Sangma Communication Minister. Kila simkia ya kane, but kila pentrekam ya kane ka manpa ya kutulok jungi sa ka account jong kinoy kai darkali nandu January onwards kata day number 1. Kabaar pad ni one ban follow up akabai day but katu ka demands ke jongi bangin ba ka state ka pan bush. Sibon ka budget hapo jong ka state budget na benta jong kinoy kai SSA kadang bangin om ya kendo jinge so kumbangi kendo kini kipot balde akabai day but ka issue jong ka salary tingin sum kumen menta na kaliang jong education minister da pentip yang iba na kaliang jong ka department kila dip shimi ya kata karai ba ni shikmat kino hikai ba kim de shu pani kendo jinge akabai day but ka salary kila dip le ya ka arrangement akabai day but ka ne ba dila pentip ro yang iba probably la bongno ka first installment na government of India kan one how panai June last week jong June first week jong July te halor jong kane kat pakiran ab ya kane ka first installment side by side kila de ble ka arrangement na ka state government but soon probably by next week yong ba ya ka salary jong panai March rukin pelai no mental jong ki no hikai SSA kapai dai bat kane ka pakin constitute no ya chairman jong kane ka state education commission berkunjung di Bos Joka tidak kalian jom yang ba ka search committee minta kala ya syachai banwa iki beriu ke biang na menta bantu ko chairman jong kane commission berkunjung ya kituki members bana kalian jom ulah terpat biang ini bani ya sya ka ba kalian jom go mereka claim song klikti kale kalong kadang don hakalenti ka search committee kale ka jom ka kamram tu bersun musa review hakabai day berkani ya ka search committee kalale te kabakabdo kabangi discuss hakabai day berkani ka kini ki vacant post mo haki school SSA kamba pila TP minta almost 2 years kini ki school SSA bon kini ki school SSA kilo without teachers mo the student have suffer a lot te minta na kaliang jongi pentip hangi ba ka kani bakin identify ya ki school with less enrollment dan ki zero enrollment school ka ayat syachai minta dari ban le kan ni ka rationalize kala ya syai minta tiong ka government kan walkout minta kulo ban solve ya kan ni ka issue jo kan ki kan post tiong yang ni ba ka government kadang perkat minta ba kala ban hadin bakala ban identify ya kita ki school kita ke single digit school ni ki zero enrollment ni kita ki school ki pa bun ki enrollment hadin bakal de identify kala ban grant permission to ki school who are really deserve to appoint teachers, to appoint those teachers who are vacant in the respective school. And for those school who have zero enrollment or less enrollment, the government will take a call or what decision shall be done. Kata kalau kaba nakaliang jumi discuss money education minister.
Kinotri ke MEECL hapok Shatri Jangka Coordination Committee of Registered MEECL Associations and Unions CCORMAU menaga khandre tring mentau benai jemang arajar arpulai kila shim yakarai ban sange trikam nangne shakhman haman laki headquarter hakeleng ka jila namar kejile menti jangka sarkar ban siu yakatulap gajongki hapok kashipho trik jamanau benai.
Habakran cikinong thok khubor nakaliang president kani ka kinhun uba arjun khar ulong bahaga chisisha nakaliang ka kinhun kam chukwa ban mi madan nakapor hinde kim ban se na market jingle menti jak sarkar ulong ba ka revenue jong ka MECL ka kotchadu ka prapu ar hadu shispa shipho crore tingka malau banai hinde ubu jikli pat babalai basla ban siu deb ka tulop ha ka por ka babiang
kumki balarang ba kani ka nalam ni barokat ka karma ko jami maka port lagi ngim kwa bagi ni kumne mah gua ban avoid ni ka bagi ni kumne atau bagi menteri perfect ni andrei constitution the compel thing mah bagi ni kumne nomor play bagi ya kata ka jing bam chimkia ka management mah bagi yo bani keren lagi senam mentam dari tang mentam sibna ramai bagi citi bagun ke bagi la ko kalau ka tulap ka jami yang kuat bensyai ning bila ban ba balai batang kharat sing khalai sing pada telop kini ke police la emi mah kenapa kena bagi ba bubun mag sudar ngata mah yang kuat bensyai ning kalau ba kani kamdai ke bagi yalang take up issue ke pemerintah kani ke bagi snam mak di man soto ba kum ki which code ke bangla keren mah section 17 ke bang ba kumno ro kini ki jingsio nomor ni hak factory mah kidai ben sio hapo jaman nyosi jong punai ada ngipat ni ang management tos sio yang aswa yang shipotrik marang itep ba nakaliang ka jong revenue ka bangyo ka biang ka baken sio ya batulap ka jongi mah te hani ka basongsi kolong ba han gipor lapoi ba gila inyo at tulap ki jongi adu sigi aku san akun reo kidan gipor be pi ka bani haban ni kene kolong ba ka tam banai ru mah sakot adu arbanai ngimyo te ngim kwa bagan poi kum katak section namar ba pini hangne habinong trei gi jongi manta ma gi bangna MCL almost manta 40% of workforce idai gi bapli contractual mah ki bang chi site ki jongki ki meter reader ki bang na substations dan na office ki jongki but engineer barit mah te 100 expectation pat jong management kolong ba kin perform pat ya duty ki jongki kin biangi ki report ki jongki man kapor la de kapor te haba fi umta ba de biangi ki report ki jongki be de beli ka billing schedule ki jongki kan biang ki pajba kin de ban thut ya kalan ki jongki be ba attend ki complaints ki jongki pajba pa kum ta ter di kerman baka management ru kadi pelaj ya kai ka tulap hantam hi ka jing se kolong hasan hajar khamre hajar hi kini ki por gomta kolong ka be ba ni ngi snap ni kamlong nimban se ho gidan kini na kini kini sti bang ada no manchua ngi khamda implement ya kan ka decisions ka jongi ke rai ki jongi ke resolution ki bang na asim namar yang to ngi ailat ya ka management yang to kan baik nama hadian bagi kendo yang CMD pemerintah mensyal ba okay I will reduce it mah nakata aku arsni siaka shipotrik manu banai i pediang ni kata haringi i pat kemlong kita kijing keluar kai pelong ngi bangin mi mentakai yang aku bani thuru fi hang ni kolong ba habangi pan ni kono dai akum ki break bla tip mah baterai hang ni i bangi tip ya A to Z ke jinglong gojong ni organization ni tip ru ya ke jingyo ka jong habangi pan kemun gidi bersung thu ba ni de benyo ne kum na mata ni mei pa mo kum jo hi dari kun ki pan tip ki long ki mi pa ke jigi ka jingyo ka jong ki dai pidon ki kami pa ki belak ban ai kon ki jong ki ada ki barem dor gini kita berkhaj kita gidan pat kami pa ki bat trei ma ya hatin ki trei ki jong ki kami jong ki barit ru tak ki kon timpan ya ke babion ki kami pa ki lak ban ani ngir ko makalong hang ne menta nyimpan ya ke belong palat ma mangitip ya jingyo kumno ka revenue collection galong sipan ya ke bade ka hop ka jongi ka bade ka taka salary ka jongi ma ka ba kum mangila tray ngila put in ya ka taka service ka jongi boro fini I menta mtai bangasu ko hangne na bakran gono bakran sarong gono pinpej ya ginong tray ki jongi ki bapli under constraint ka bunda constraint kan ki ba feel ki badan nai way lineman haban pej arko lai putli ki village haban ya ka skutar ka jongu bayung penyang mio ada ijingyo kan no khasan hajar
Kaseng FKJGP hapok ka jingalam jong ba Bristar Mautho ubre u secretary ka agricultural wing central body menaka khasan treatment tau benai jemang ajar apulai kilali benya kendu ya ka kong amprin lingdo ka menteri bade pet ya ka tenat karep karyang ka jela ban penso haka ya kijing ki ba kinong rep ya kendu
Nakliang kakong amprin dingdo akala bopor haka arterik ujeliu panya kendu biang barkani ka kenhun ban pet kampanya halor ki mat ki babon ki beide ba kinong rep
Jiwan juga nak liang ke FKJGP Agriculture Committee of Central Body dan Minister Beberapa Keriang kalau buat kubur kecil cuma nak kinorep makan bolong untuk bersua wilayah kesat akan letak cuma kubur kecil cuma kinorep kamtam nang nagni lawan wan kenduk visit stasiun pokok kudam cepo mauyong saya berstok bu ini kita wai lo marpa tanah sarkar pemenang mak subsidi Jadi kumba kinorep pilih wah kita wai subsidi per kemio anak kalian terus seng bila dapat wancurip anak ini siap kemudian jika wai dan kaitan kendiat konsoit itu nomor 2 si kedua urea kemudian ke DP kemudian tentang bu kecing wai kinorep jadi nak tahu bahwa nak kalian juga FKJGP Central Body lembaga kerep kerian komiti bila wan taksi banyak penduk yang Dr. Amperin dari buat sibun kimat tiba hila iyo ben persau rena kalian juga mentah kadang kam pakerki marna kalian siam lala bangla ceritakan meeting style apa dalam buku trik artrik bukan webci ban wani kendu nam tamuannya shong company bagian baru kalian juga yang kami berendam ban ilong ban studi ba itu kami berendam kami nak kalian kesen ban artrik dan saya kendu pat kampa ban yu tai kampa nam tai cingga cungurang
Jadi kita baru mengelak banyak subsidi. Tetapi men hari ni dia yang urea. Dia urea nilai ekor sekian bagi dia subsidi. Dan nilai tertib saya presiden contoh saya kira mabrau. Bat ni kinorep ni dia nak senang usni ini. Teh bagi siam yang nu ni tertib saya presiden contoh saya kira. Teh presiden contoh saya kira ilah pelai ban kod ini bandai jurip yang tidak wise sebab urea semikfan. Rai hadian bagi lalai kedua sebab urea kamdon tangka pi. Sementara bagi kinorep bidon kam bahaya ki dak namar bangila ukra bandra ki sok semua. Dan kalian kinorep
dan kali ini kum Allah mai ba di roi long hewan sini di norep sedata dan kano kucing gunung kucing namar ka dawai kat ke badan kam bandriap bariap sudah ngiyo ketika subsidi kumbal ayo menketu di bakran yo tang tu hilak cakno keno isu kumian sengu tenat suhet musim bai ni presiden joni ni ba dan salam utama iwan dalam ni lawan kalian kasih FKJGP nang bani yo yang kata kecebon kam joni ba himbiang nadong sedang ngidon kam namang ide kinoriap ni im tang kariap ni sem yo ya kata jingkim ke ba himbiang ni su im kedip ni im susah namar kada wairo de ke bariam
Ka BB Football School ringkat ka jentre lambat ka Dream Foundation kala play ya ka school ban ai ka jinghi kai ha ka benta ka jeng la kai football hame khalia ya ka bala ai ka teng Dare to Dream Academy
Ya kani ka school play paj baru menteri rang ba ka jelau korot ke sangma ka khat pratar ku jemang arja arplai ya kani ka singi lawan ban sakhi lang da u nongi la kai football ba pau jong kri India u bai chung putia ki de khot jaka Dream Foundation bar kumjuru ki officer na katanat Sports Authority of India Habakran hakani kasengi umentri rang ba ka jelau konot ke sangma ulong bakani kan ajing mentoi shibun ya ka jelau megalaya ba ya ka than stai lamingi ban pinmi ya kinongi lekai ki badan ya ka sap ka phong hakani ka benta Ubai chung bu tiaw lo ang ba kajela meglaya kadon ki bon ki samla ki batibet hagani ka jele akai football paria ka ni la bansaki hag jele akai ki bon
Ready.
Where almost close to 1 lakh youths were surveyed. And in that survey, many aspects of the youth were discussed, whether it is about what their expectations are, what challenges there are, what would they like to be in life. It's a very, very detailed and comprehensive survey which took us many, many months to do. Apart from the many things that came out in the survey, one very interesting fact came out. And that was when we asked the children, the youth of Meghalaya, that what career they would like to pursue in the future. The answer for that was very interesting. Out of the close to 1 lakh children, almost 30%, which is the highest, everything else was number 2, 3, 4. The top, career option that the youth mentioned in that youth survey was sports.
See, we need to allow this energy to go in the right direction. If we don't, I keep repeating this and it is the right forum to say it here. If we don't allow this ball of energy to go in the right direction, it will be a destructive force. But if we can use it and channelize it in the right direction, it will be the most constructive force for this nation. And with this thought in our mind, we have been pursuing different programs for the youth.
Honorable CM, Meghalaya state footballers, and they've gone to the finals of Santosh Trophy. In fact, which is a big, big achievement, from a state from Northeast. I think they were the ones who went on to qualify. So, I think that shows that Meghalaya football is definitely has got potentials, but I think we still need to do much more from the grassroots.
Any plan apart from this football to in other sports?
So we are planning to do that. So what exactly happens, India is trying to develop in sports. Every state government, central government, everybody is trying to contribute towards sports. What we are thinking, where there is a gap, so we don't want to duplicate what the government is already doing, but if there is a gap, how to support the athletes, because to match the international standard, they need something more in terms of support, whether it is equipment, whether it is infra, whether it is foreign training, whether it is the nutrition, everything. So we are trying to collaborate with each and every government. Where there is a gap, we just want to fill in so that everywhere, in every sport, not only football, we have a cricket academy with Dilip Venk Sarkar, we have a boxing academy with Mary Kom. So we are also planning to expand our horizon. So there is a plan for sure. So we want to do any kind of sports development in the entire nation.